Hey everyone, I was wanting to highlight my 1996 GT Talera. This bicycle was not a high-end bike back in 1996. In fact, the reason I purchased this bike was because it had an accessory fork on it. It had a 1995 RockShox Judy XC fork. And for the price I paid for this bicycle, I got an almost new RockShox fork and the whole bicycle for just slightly over what I would have paid for a brand new RockShox fork if I had bought it brand new. So it seemed like a great thing, and I quickly took that RockShox fork off and put it on one of my Bontragers, and it's, you know, since 1996, obviously it's had different combinations of forks and this and that, but ultimately at some point I kind of settled on just the original chromoly steel rigid fork back on it. And just throughout the years, I've upgraded the components. Like for instance, the chain rings originally were like a one-piece steel chain ring, heavy, and I upgraded that to an LX, a Shimano LX. I've upgraded the wheel set on it. These are Mavic Crossmax or Crossland rims rather, and they're a narrow rim brakes. Various tires over the years. I tend to run relatively low height knobbies on them for low rolling resistance. This bicycle has the clearance for 2.5-inch tires. There have been times in which I've ran, you know, a full 2.5-inch wide tire. This particular bicycle is an 18-inch frame. It has a horizontal top tube. This obviously is not titanium, this is steel, but it has a really cool finish that gives it almost a similar look to titanium. And you know, with GT, this is their signature triple triangle frame. And what I found was interesting is even on a relatively low-end bike like this, and I believe at the time it was $399 brand new. Somewhere I have an owner's manual for it from that year. And you'll see the welds, how that this seat tube pierces the top tube, and it has just excellent quality welds. And then, like to the rear, you'll see this GT emblem back here. That's really cool. Now, it has cantilever brakes, and it's kind of a weird setup the way they have this crossover piece here. I actually modified it and used this little section of typical brake cable to provide it a little bit of stability versus the way they originally had it routed just through this metal piece. But it's worked fine, it's sufficient. As far as derailleurs, I've upgraded. It's an LX front derailleur, and it's a Dior XT rear derailleur. Those are 8-speed cassette in the rear, and the micro drive in the front, LX. And of course, what I believe to be the best bend of bar end of any, you know, that I've tried is the Onza that wrap around. To me, these are fantastic. They provide hand protection because you can virtually smack into a tree and deflect off of it without getting snagged, but yet you also have multiple hand positions to ride and relax and to power, to sprint. Love them. It's a quill type stem. It's not in a headset style stem. It's a threaded fork, so you can adjust the height of the reach for your handlebars. It uses the rapid fire shifting, and these are just ultra super good, smooth shifting, positive locking shifters. I upgraded to a Bontrager Select handlebar at some point. I think it had a steel handlebar, no name steel at one point. I currently have just Diacomp 7 brake levers. It does have an adjustable built-in seat post clamp. And at some point along the way, I upgraded to Shimano XT. You know, these are the wider platform style clipless pedals. I believe the bicycle has a 70-degree head angle, so it's relatively stable. I believe the seat tube angle, if I'm not mistaken, is 74 degrees. So it gives you a pretty efficient pedaling position. You say, what about weight? I don't know. It's not that bad. With a set of lightweight 26-inch rims, it really livens it up. The primary triangle is 4130 chromoly steel. The rear stays are high tensile steel. So no, it's not a Karakoram, but it has, I believe, the same build quality. And like if you were to examine the alignment of the wheels and the frame, it looks like it was welded in an excellent manner to achieve proper alignment. So hey, why don't we jump on the bike and we'll take it for a little spin. The climbing ability in that middle ring and the big sprocket in the rear, pretty good, along with the power position and the bar ends. Great climbing bike.